2 weeks after the Swiss round of the championship, the main contenders regrouped at Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. The first national race of Belgium was held in 1925 at the Spa region's racecourse, an area of the country that had been associated with motorsport since the very early years of racing. Throughout its existence, Spa-Francorchamps has been synonymous with one word: rain. At one stage in its history, it had rained at the Belgian Grand Prix for 20 years in a row. The circuit's unique topography means that at any given moment, one section can be bathed in sunlight while another is drenched in rain, a test of skill and adaptability like no other. But it's not just the weather that makes Spa-Francorchamps iconic. The images of cars hurtling through Eau Rouge and Raidillon are etched in the annals of motorsport history. This challenging corner complex, introduced in 1939, has become a symbol of the circuit's unforgiving nature. With a punishing 17% incline, it pushes drivers and machines to their limits, demanding precision and courage. For the pedants out there is a clear distinction between the two corners. Eau Rouge is the short turn to the left at the bottom of the hill. Raidillon is the sweeping uphill right-hander that exits onto the Kemmel Straight. In 1979, the circuit underwent a transformation, dramatically shortening its length to just 6.9 kilometers, less than half of its original distance. While Spa-Francorchamps remained a challenging track, the modifications made it safer and more manageable for competitors. Friday and Saturday practice sessions gifted the teams with an unusual sight: warm and clear skies. The notorious Ardennes climate, known for its unpredictability, briefly granted a respite from its typical rain-soaked reputation. It was a surprise that had the teams and drivers cautiously optimistic about race day. One of the notable stories of the weekend was the debut of Ferrari's new machine, the Ferrari 275, driven by the talented Alberto Ascari. However, despite the anticipation, the car experienced teething troubles during its installation, leaving the Scuderia Ferrari in dismay. As the laps ticked away in qualifying, the Ferrari 275 failed to pose a threat to the dominant Alfa Romeo team. Ascari, grappling with his machine's issues, could only manage a 7th place starting position on the grid, a disappointment for the Scuderia. In contrast, Alfa Romeo was poised for a strong showing. Giuseppe Farina delivered a scorching performance, securing the pole position with a blistering lap time of 4 minutes and 37 seconds. However, it was a pole that came by the slimmest of margins, as his teammate, the talented Argentine Juan Manuel Fangio, equaled his time precisely. In a remarkable twist, Farina was awarded the pole due to his second fastest lap, which proved to be quicker than Fangio's. Luigi Fagioli, the seasoned campaigner in the Alfa Romeo stable, claimed the 3rd spot on the grid, although he found himself 4 seconds adrift of Farina's blistering pace. In the midst of this Alfa Romeo dominance, 2 Talbot-Lago cars stood out. Raymond Sommer and Philippe Tancelin, both behind the wheel of the French team's machines, managed to split the 2 Ferrari entries. Raymond Sommer, who had recently departed from Ferrari, showcased that his competitive spirit remained undiminished as he matched the pace of his former team. The rest of the Talbot-Lago stable, however, struggled to keep pace with Sommer's impressive performance. Behind Ascari, we found the likes of Rosier, Giraud-Cabantus, Levet and Chaboud, comprising the midfield in their Talbot-Lago machines. Towards the back of the grid, Geoffrey Crossley grappled with his underpowered Alta, Antonio Branca piloted the aging Maserati, and local hero Johnny Clayes, forced to start from the rear due to mechanical troubles during practice, was determined to make a mark in one of the private Talbot-Lago cars. The drivers have to compete 35 laps. The complete race length is incredible, 494 kilometers. At the start, Giuseppe Farina and Juan Manuel Fangio, both driving for Alfa Romeo, wasted no time in breaking away from the pack. Fangio executed a brilliant move into the first corner, seizing the lead from Farina. Meanwhile, Luigi Villoresi, behind the wheel of a Ferrari, managed to get past Luigi Fagioli's Alfa Romeo, briefly splitting the Alfa trio. But this arrangement would prove temporary, as Fagioli reclaimed third place during the second lap. The race spectators were in for a treat as they witnessed an incredible battle for the lead between Fangio and Farina. These two Alfa Romeo teammates dominated the race. The Belgian circuit of Spa is always a dauntingly quick track from spectators' eye level, but from the driver's eye level, the view is truly awesome. Fangio, leading the way, struggled to shake off Farina, who remained hot on his tail. On lap 7, Farina made his move, retaking the lead, but Fangio stayed within striking distance, keeping the crowd on edge. Meanwhile, Fagioli, holding on to third place, had a significant gap to close if he wanted to challenge the leaders. Villoresi, in the Ferrari, faced handling problems that slowed him down. Behind them, Raymond Sommer, in a determined drive, caught up and passed Villoresi, moving into fourth place. On lap 11, both Farina and Fangio made pit stops for fuel, setting the stage for a pit strategy showdown. Fagioli followed them on the next lap. This turn of events saw Sommer inherit the race lead. It was a historic moment as the Talbot-Lago cars, for the first time that season, showcased their competitiveness and led a world championship race. Sommer aimed to go the distance without a pit stop, despite the slim chances of maintaining the lead. Further down the field, several retirements, including Giraud Cabantous and Étincelin, marked a challenging day for some drivers. However, Sommer's time in the lead was short-lived. Farina and Fangio quickly reclaimed the top positions. Sommer, demonstrating remarkable pace, even outperformed Fagioli's Alfa in fourth. However, his hopes of securing a podium finish were dashed when his engine blew on lap 20. Despite the disappointment, Sommer's performance showcased his enduring skill. At the front, the lead exchanged hands once again, as Fangio overtook Farina for the third time. The two Alfa Romeo drivers had been engaged in an intense battle throughout the race. In fact, they lapped the entire field, except for Fagioli in third. The Ferrari team, during the mid-race pit stops, struggled to match the pace of the Alfa Romeos. Neither Villoresi nor Alberto Ascari, who was driving the new Ferrari 275, could perform competitively. Ascari encountered handling issues with the new car. During the pit stops, the Ferrari drivers allowed Louis Rosier in his Talbot-Lago to pass, a strategy similar to Sommer's, attempting to complete the race without stopping. The second round of pit stops proceeded smoothly, with Fangio retaining his lead over Farina. While Farina stayed within striking distance, Fangio managed to create a small gap. Fangio's path to victory became somewhat easier when Farina encountered fuel pressure problems and was forced to make a third pit stop. Unfortunately, there was little the team could do to salvage Farina's race. He returned to the track, hoping to secure some points, but he had lost second place to Fagioli, and even Rosier's Talbot-Lago posed a challenge. Louis Rosier's decision to race without stopping paid off, as the Ferrari drivers struggled to catch him, and Farina slipped further behind due to oil pressure issues. Rosier passed Farina, who had to settle for fourth place, although he maintained his championship lead. For Fangio, the closing laps of the race provided a relatively straightforward journey. With Farina no longer in contention, Fangio focused on nursing his car to the finish line. Fangio crossed the finish line to claim his second Grand Prix victory of the season. Fagioli followed, finishing a full minute behind in second place. Rosier, showcasing tenacity and a no-stop strategy, secured a well-deserved third place. Farina, while settling for fourth, managed to maintain his lead in the championship standings. Unfortunately, fifth place wasn't sufficient for Ascari, as the Ferrari team grappled with the challenges of their new car. After 5 rounds of the championship gone, Giuseppe Farina had firmly asserted his dominance, leading the drivers' table with 22 points. Luigi Fagioli trailed behind with 18 points, while Juan Manuel Fangio held the third position with 17 points.